Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Apocablog. Day 1482, pretty sure, of agreeing with Representative Rodney Davis on the House Administration Committee that this is horseshit. We'll get to why this is horseshit in a minute, or why he's saying it's horseshit. Prediction: 150,000 corona-related deaths in the next month.
My friend, how dare you? Would you like to line dance?
Projection from the University of Washington's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation indicates that 150,000 coronavirus over the next month, with the U.S. death toll exceeding 341,000 since the start of the pandemic. Model predicts 150,000 additional fatalities, topping the 77,000 plus reported in the final month of 2020. Officials and public health experts have warned that the next month could be one of the worst in terms of cases and fatalities due to individuals partaking in holiday gatherings over the last few weeks, including Christmas and New Year's celebrations. All the while, the new super mutated strain of virus hailing from the UK, which is more transmissible, has been detected in 3 U.S. states: Colorado, California, and Florida.
My friend, how dare you? Would you like to choreograph it?
So, here at the Apocablog, we have a penchant for, running the numbers. So, we ran the numbers. Now, way back in the day, we did some Newtonian shit, and we took the CDC's last year-to-date total death count in the U.S., which I believe was 2018, and we took that 2.5 million whatever number, and we got all Newton up in this shit, and we divided it by 365, which apparently nobody else in the media, the CDC, or anywhere else has decided, to do that. I'm apparently the only one. And it turns out that we come up with 7,778.6 people are supposed to drop dead every fucking day from, the all and sundry. So when you take that number and you multiply it out by 31 to see how many people should have died this month, you get 241,136.6. Now, okay, so before we do the rest of the math, Fauci and everybody are going batshit because Big Mean Sexy Daddy got up and said that, corona deaths are greatly exaggerated. And that's mostly because corona deaths are greatly exaggerated to a degree that is beyond, I'd like to say calculation, but I calculated it. So according to the CDC, there were, their death list, when you actually read the death list of coronaviruses, turns out 10,874 were from intentional injury, unintentional injury, poisoning, and other adverse events. 11,554 are due to Alzheimer's, 47,351 diabetes, 33,367 heart attacks, 14,350 are cancer patients, and we're still not including, vehicular accidents, homicides, birth defects, gunshot wounds, blah, 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 blah. But when we take all of those numbers and we add them up, we end up with, here's my number sheet. If I were me, where would I hide? Oh, there we go. You end up with 117,496 people died of COVID with, cancer, blah, 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 blah. So now if you take the number of people that are supposed to just fucking die, 241,136.6, subtract 117,496, you end up with 123,640.6. And if you multiply that out by the 0.06, excuse me, that the CDC says are people that actually die from COVID rather than all of the rest that die with COVID, you get 7,418.436. So not really that scary a number, and if you believe that many people will actually die from it, which they won't. But let's run the numbers the other way, and let's take the number of people that are supposed to drop dead, 241, 136.6, and let's subtract their 150,000. You come up with 91,136.6. Well, it turns out that's less than the CDC's number of people that are going to die from cancer, heart attack, diabetes, blah, blah, blah. So that means nobody died of COVID because that's just what the numbers say, kids. Sorry. It's, if they're stupid enough to put the numbers out there, there is some asshole out there like me, the Apocablog staff rather, that's going to say, oh, well, let's, see what these numbers actually mean. And they mean nothing. It's all bullshit. And how do you know it's all bullshit? Well, because our representative here calling horse shit, the reason he's calling horse shit is that the Dem-controlled House used a plexiglass box, like in hockey, to allow a COVID-19 positive member to come in and vote for Nancy Pelosi. Now, you know what you don't do in the middle of a pandemic, where if you get too close to another person or if you let your mask slip, you're basically gonna, die like you're in space and just and in that rapid a fashion, just rapid decompression and it's all over. Yeah, you don't do that. You don't dismantle emergency hospitals because they're empty. You don't, as the governor of New York, give the Bills permission to host fans at a wild card playoff game. As the governor, you don't attend that game, as he's already stated he intends to. As a Canadian minister, you don't jet to the Caribbean while lecturing people to stay home. Up to 60% of U.S. healthcare workers would not refuse the COVID-19 vaccine if they thought they were in any danger and that the vaccine wasn't going to do more damage than good. You certainly would not have the NHS requiring recently retired doctors to have diversity training before they're allowed to administer vaccines in, the worst pandemic ever. And the other thing that wouldn't be happening is a woman wouldn't be getting arrested for walking through a hospital in Britain and saying, well, why is the fucking place empty? In the video posted on social media, the woman is heard saying, where's the second wave? Where are all the people dying from the second wave? As she wandered through the largely deserted corridors of the hospital. So that's where we're at, kids. This is horseshit, as our very eloquent representative said. And this horseshit is, again, a participation event. So when we're going through all the drama,
Be afraid, be very afraid. I dare you. Let's line dance.
just look at what the people that are telling you to be afraid, very afraid, how dare you, let's line dance. Pay attention to what they're doing and not what they're saying. The rules are simple and they're never going to change. Go live your fucking life. Stop participating in this shit.